Hello, hello, everybody. All right, I'm excited to get started. Gosh, it seems like it's been so long since I have been on. Did you guys miss me? How was everybody's holiday? Did you guys have a good holiday? I bet that was a lot of fun. So hopefully people got out. Hopefully you guys had a little bit of fun and you kind of cleared your brains and got outside. It seemed like it was a nice weekend in most areas. So, all right, let's get started. So post a 1 below if you're new to watching me live. I'm going to introduce myself in a second, I promise. Post a 2 below if you're an oldie but goodie. You guys know what to do, and you guys know I love you guys. So, all right. So I've been crazy busy, as you guys know. When I say busy, like, you don't even understand. Like, I have 8 IEP meetings between this week and next meeting. 8. I have 8. I didn't say 1 or 2. I have 8 IEP meetings. All right. So here's the deal, guys, is as I do these IEPs, okay, the makeovers, going to the IEP meetings, I'm always learning, okay? So it's fun to me to learn. It's like an excitement to me, if that makes any sense. Okay, call me cuckoo if you want to, but it's fun, all right? And I learn something each and every time. So I don't go in there thinking, oh, I got this, you know? I go in there thinking, okay, I have my plan. I have my plan of action. I know what I'm going to do. I know how I'm going to present myself and persuade them in the best way possible. But all need to know that nothing's ever a one and done, right? But if I can get the most out of the time that I have, usually starts off with one hell of an email, kind of sets the precedence. Now, who am I, right? My name is Raven Woods. I'm the CEO and founder of Autism Mama Rocks IEP, and I help parents gain the knowledge and the confidence to become the CEO of their IEP meeting. And that is the goal, the end-all, be-all, meaning your child has an education that is appropriate for them and their individual and unique needs, and that the school system does not get one over on you with the things they seem to feed us that are not accurate. I actually had a director of special education just several days ago tell me that he couldn't email back and forth with me with the parent CC'd because their district didn't do that. Oh, okay. So I had to send him with it blocked out with the permission of the other families. Here you go. Here's the 4 other families that I'm working with in the state of California that also know, which you should too. And that, I told him straight up, I made him look like a total dumbass, because what director of special education should not know the law? They should know the law. It should not be my job to teach the director of special education the law. They should know it. All right. Teachers already don't know special ed law as far as idea on the back of their hands. All right. You need to be able to speak law and it just come out and flow. Now, I understand that parents can't do that all the time, and that's a frustration, but the director of special education should know law. So there's certain states, there's only 3, I think it is, that does not allow advocates versus attorneys represent parents. All right. It's like weird states. Just kidding. So anyway, most states except 3 allow this. Okay. Hi, Jessie. How are you? Hi, Lucy. So, not only can advocates, represent a parent, they can represent a parent in due process. They can represent a parent in mediation, which mediation sucks. I don't advise it at all. And then, I say go to mediation after filing for due process, because if they're ready to play ball, that's when they're going to play ball. I say play ball. Don't tease them with mediation. That's when you sit a babysitter in the IEP, kind of meeting that you're mediating. And because you guys weren't adults, that could be your fault. That could be theirs. I'm just going to play devil's advocate. And basically you're saying, I need a babysitter to come in and sit down and help us agree on a child that they know nothing about. So it's just stupid to me. That's just my train of thought. I see no point into it. I've sat in many mediation meetings and have decided I'm not going to do it anymore because it's that dumb. And then they get to bring their attorney. So then there's the attorney, the advocate, or another advocate, and myself. And then there's the third party. And it's this big cluster mess that's just, it's a circus is what it is. All right. So if you mean business and you go to due process, file for due process. You want to mediate? Cool. Within 15 days, you have to mediate anyway. You don't go, it looks bad at you, and deprocess. And then what happens is you come together and you try to come to some sort of agreement. All right? Now, dependent on how much, and I'm just going into this for a second because it's where we were, is dependent on how much you have, all right, is if it's worth it to play a little bit of ball and kind of agree and give up a little, because that's what a settlement is. They give a little, you give a little, you come to a mutual agreement. Now, there's situations where I highly disagree with that, where I say you need to get it all because of this and this and this and this, and that's it. And if you go to due process, you lose. Hey, you did everything in your power to fight for your child, and you did everything you needed to do so you can sleep at night. Make sense? So going back to what I've been doing. So I've been going through so many IEPs and so many different people's IEPs. I mean, we're talking, you know, from 3 years old all the way to graduating. And I can't even tell you how different they are. They shouldn't be that different. Goals should be different. What's written in the IEP should be pretty much the same, other than goals in the present levels of that child, okay? Because the goals are specific to the child, the present levels are specific to the child as to where they are now. And let me tell you guys, it blows my mind that not only, because when I go through an IEP with a parent, I'm getting to this, so you want to hear me out here. When I read an IEP, I literally start at the first page. Is your address correct? All right, we go through it literally, and once we get to the present level, because in the first part of the IEP, guys, they vary a little bit, but there's important information. In the first several pages of your IEP, you have an area that talks about your child's impact of disability. That statement is everything to the rest of that IEP. Everything. All right? And what I've found is what's written in there is either, number one, wrong, not the child's diagnosis, because it should specify the child has been diagnosed previous from a medical doctor with XYZ. All right? And if they want to, they can add, and due to the medical diagnosis of ADHD, autism, whatever, the child is impacted in school by XYZ. That is the best way to present where a child is presently. Okay, the child was diagnosed with this. Uh-oh. Can you guys see me? Did it like break up? All right, so the child was diagnosed with this, and this is what we see in the school system. And as long as that's fact, that's perfect. All right? Then you go into the present levels. You talk about the present levels. And the present levels shouldn't be, Zachary is doing really well, and he loves to play at recess, and he loves to pick up books and read. I don't care that Zachary plays at recess, and I sure as heck don't care that Zachary likes to read. What I care about is, how does Zachary read? What is he reading? Okay, good. Sorry. Did it freeze long, Jess? I want to know what Zachary is reading. What level is he reading at? And what data do you have to support it? Okay, that's where he is presently. Where he is presently is how he plays at recess. Where he is presently isn't that he likes to read books. I don't care. All right, and that's how I present when I'm talking with a parent. Okay, good. When I'm talking with a parent in regards to going over the IEP. I don't care about that fluffy stuff. All right, tell me that on a personal level. You want to talk about my child's present levels? It's what is he reading? How is he reading it? And where is he in his reading level as far as where he is now? If he's in 4th grade, where is he? Is he on a 2nd grade level? Is he on a 3rd grade level? Is he on a kindergarten level? That would be his present level. Okay? Zachary is a 4th grade student reading on a 2nd grade level. Zachary is really good at, or has his what is it that's opposite of where he needs help? Total brain fart. All right. Zachary is really good at his reading fluency. However, Zachary's struggles are comprehending what he is reading and processing it to then tell the story if asked a question. All right, so that would be his present levels. Okay, cool. That explains Zachary is reading at a 2nd grade level. He's in 4th grade. So we have a 4th grade student reading at a 2nd grade level who has good fluency, however, does not understand a damn thing he reads. All right, So if I said to Zachary, hey, Zachary, what did you just read? And he read about a man and a balloon, and the balloon went up in the air. He would not be able to say, oh, Mr. Whoever threw the balloon up in the air, and the balloon went up in the air, and then the balloon popped. You know, whatever the story said. All right. So all Zachary can do at in fourth grade, reading on a second grade level fluently, and that's it. Done. So that tells me that Zachary is not improving on his reading. I could care less if Zachary can read fluently. If he can't comprehend what he's reading, there's no point in reading the book. All right? You get me? So that's where present levels need to be. So your present level should not be this book of, oh, your child's doing good in this, and, you know, they're reading at 60% of blah, 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 blah. No. It needs to be descriptive and explain to you precisely where your child is. I don't care where your child is 60% of the time. I don't care where your child is 100% of the time. I want to know it explained to me where my child is, okay? And no IEP that I have seen. So if you want to volunteer and you got the perfect present levels, I want to see that IEP. I want to see it for myself. I won't show anybody. I just want to see it because I have not once in the past, let's just say 2 months, in 2 months, seen one IEP with really good present levels. And that's huge, guys, because that's your baseline. That is your baseline for your goals. Huge, huge, big, big problem. Okay? So here's what I'm talking about today is, if you guys are hopping on, post a 1 below if you are new to watching me live. Today's intense, y'all. Like, I am so worked up about this because I have so much work to do because of this bullshit. All right? I have so much work to do because of the poor writing ethic, all kinds of stuff that school systems are doing, not only to these kids, but the parents. And then there's a lack of knowledge. And that's what I'm getting. And it's not an embarrassment thing. It's thank God we found you, because I didn't know what to do. I just knew something was wrong. I didn't know what, you know? I mean, yesterday I'm working with a parent. I had to rewrite all the goals. I had to rewrite every one. That was the first time, actually, that I've ever written all of the goals over again because they were that bad. That bad. Okay? So, huge problem, guys. My light's beeping, so if I have to plug it in, I'll plug it in. But this is huge, 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 huge issue, okay? So I should not have to, like I did yesterday, go through goals and have to redo them all. That's crazy. Why? Because they're not specific enough. And if goals aren't specific and the present levels don't match the goals, meaning what I mean by that is, like I just said, if Zachary is reading at a second grade level, but he's in fourth grade and he can read fluently, boom, he can read. And you'd think, without knowing the background, oh, he's reading awesome. Listen to him. He sounds so good. But Zachary did not understand a thing he was reading. Not one thing. If you asked him one question in regard to what he read so beautifully, he would not be able to then say that to you. And that wouldn't be a speech issue. That's he could not understand what he read. He did not practice visualization. There was not phonemic awareness because he wasn't able to conceptualize what he was reading. All he had was the ability to sound out words. That more than likely was familiar because he's fourth grade reading on a second grade level, which would make sense. Do you see what I'm saying? So you can't say, oh, you know, my child is only 2 grades behind. That's not bad. He has autism, blah, 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 blah. Okay, that's true. You know, 2 years behind with a child with special needs is actually really good. But what is not, I still owe you for that help. Oh, what is not good is the fact that the process part there, okay? So if a child's in fourth grade, they're 2 years behind, there's a problem, okay? I'm working with a parent now that needs serious help in regards to reading. I had that huge issue. I feel like I'm a damn expert now when it comes to reading because I had to figure it out, and then I actually had training by Orton Gillingham certified specialist because I'd had it, but we're not talking about me right now. So I'm working with this parent, and I'm having to get things done for her that the school system totally disregarded. I had to write an email today after several nice emails that were very impactful where 3 different parents have not heard from the school system. All of a sudden, I email them, and bam, within a day or 2, there's responses. Oh, well, let's have an IEP meeting. No, we're not having an IEP meeting. Did you guys see my post of IEP tip of the day? So what I had said is, do not ever fall for a school system. So hypothetically, you send the school system a letter, all right, an email, and you say, I'm really concerned about Zachary's progress. I haven't seen any data. Really what it is we finally looked at the progress reports, because you and I both know we don't always look at them right away. Some parents do, but you and I both know we don't always look at it right away, right? So we finally look at these progress reports. We're not telling them that. And we look at these progress reports and we're like, okay, well, that's the goal. And there's a comment. And then it has a lot of them that have like, I got your questions, guys. Hang on. It has like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1 being they haven't started it, 5 being it's mastered. And okay, well, I already know the goals because they're in my child's IEP. Hello. Then the comments, okay, cool. It's nice to hear what you got to say. And then there's a number. Okay, my child's making progress. Okay, well, it's called a progress report, right? I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. Yes, I'm being a smartass. So I got the goals that I already have in the IEP. Then I have a number that tells me pretty much nothing. And then that says they're making progress, or they're mastered, or they haven't started. And then you have a comment. Well, can somebody out there, I am asking you out there, tell me how repeating the goal that we already have in the IEP and giving me a number and then a comment. I'm trying to process, okay? Feel me here. Where's the progress? Where's the progress? I got a number. I got a repetitive goal that I already know is there. And I got a comment. I want data. You want to give me a number? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? By all means, give me a number. Please, give me a number. Cool. But you better back up that damn number with some sort of data. I want the papers. I want to hold it in my hand. I want to read, okay, so Zachary is on a level 4 and he's almost at mastery. Oh, wow, look at this graph. It shows where Zachary at his present levels, okay, at his baseline, present levels, is at, okay, he's reading fluently really well, and he's on a 2nd grade level, and he's in 4th grade. Okay, and now at the first progress report, wow, okay, it shows in the graph that he's gone up in fluency even more, and his progress is that he's almost comprehending the 2nd grade book that he's reading. Oh, wow. Okay, that's progress. You see a graph, you see the data and the notes by day. By day, people. By day, okay? So you got to see by day. And here's the other thing, guys. All right, see, I'm on a roll tonight. I'm on a roll. All right, here's the other thing. Is what I'm saying. Okay, hold on, y'all. And I'm not ignoring you. I just got to stay focused or I'll be all over the place. So, okay, so this is what I was doing yesterday. All right. So, yeah, on Memorial Day, I was working all day. All right. So, because I have 8 IEPs, guys, I can't take a memorial break. I got 8 IEPs coming up. All right. So, and when I get off with you, I got more stuff to do. I have a client to talk to, and I got another client to talk to that we're revising her story. When you go to due process, you write a story and you present it and give them 10 days. If they don't respond in 10 days, then you file for due process. How I learned through Pete Wright and through COPA. Can you guys see me? Okay, sorry. Okay, so what I learned through Pete Wright and COPA and all that kind of stuff is that when you file for due process and you are basically, what you do is what's proper is you give the school a 10-day letter. All right. In that 10-day letter, you tell a story from your 2 years. Sometimes you go back 2.5 or 3, and you tell your story in sync by date. In September 2019, da 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 da. In October 2019, da 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 da. Okay, and you tell your story, and in the beginning, you tell like the preliminaries of your child when they were little and that sort of thing, of the diagnosis, how they got diagnosed, blah blah blah. So you're telling your story, okay, and the purpose of that is, you know, and Pete Wright says this all the time. I hear him like lecture us, where he'll say, when you tell a story and you present them with a story that you then use and expand some more to give to the hearing officer, then you use that story to base your questions. It is very difficult for the opposing party, the school system, to argue a story and a letter. It is very difficult for them to argue the story and how your child was diagnosed, how things came about, and then the month-by-month story that flows very fluently and that's very detailed to the point where you quote things that the school said and how you stated certain things in emails, and then you provide all that in documentation. But it's compacted into a story that's written out in a professional way, presented to the school with a 10-day letter, and then you file for due process. You use that story and expand it some more to then present to the hearing officer with the proof. Then you base your questions, and this is what I do in due process, is you base all of your questions off of the story for the school and the people that you know that they're going to have come and testify. Then you base the story off of the people that the parent has and the purpose of having them get on the stand. And a lot of people, where mistakes are made, is people get on the stand and they just throw up. No, there has to be specific questions in accordance and arguing exactly what is the problem. What did you file due process for? For this, this, and this. Okay, what can that person that testifies do to substantiate that, to prove that? So having people is not good. Having experts, doctors, psychologists, psychiatrists, neuropsychologists, all BCBAs, all those type of people, that is your proof, all right? That backs up your story, all right? It is very difficult for the school system to argue a story, all right? So anyway, going back to data, remember your present levels, because a lot of times the school system does not create a baseline for where your child is, which is where they started. For you to be able to understand where your child is now, if there's ever even progress happening, you have to know the baseline. You have to. So think of your present levels as that base of starting point. And then every progress report that you get every 9 weeks, 10 weeks, whatever it is for you guys, that's where you want to see the improvement or lack thereof. And you're able to measure, okay, this is where my child is. And see in the present levels, it's explained. Zachary was reading on a 2nd grade level. He was in 4th grade. He had good fluency. His fluency was at a 2nd grade level fluently. He's not at a 4th grade level. Okay, so that's one measurement that you have to measure. The next measurement is, it states, Zachary cannot comprehend what he is reading on a 2nd grade level. So then your first progress report, in comparison to your present levels, that's your baseline, you then compare what is said there, because you know that's where he is, because it should be based off evaluations, it should be based off of data, it should be based off written work. Never, ever, ever, ever base your goals or your present levels off of anything that doesn't show a number or won't go into a graphical form. Observations, when I see you, is not data. That is opinion. Data is written out and can be written out in graphical form, can be given to the parent, hand delivered, mailed, emailed, etc., and shows from the baseline. And always good data has a baseline and shows you where the child went. On February 1st, 2019, the child did this. On February 2nd, on February 3rd, on February 4th. Because in your goals, if you want to have percentages, which I don't always advise, and it says, you know, the child will do such and such and such and such, 80% of the time, then it has to specify in 9 out of 10, 80%, 9 out of 10 times, okay, as measured by written classwork, school assessments or classroom tests, quizzes, and report data collection. All of it in which you can see. You can see quizzes, you can see tests, you can see school assessments, you can see written work, and you can see report data collection, which is a collection of it all written out that can also be presented in graphical form, which I always ask for. Okay, I put that into the IEP. I want to see data in graphical form because it's very difficult for schools to put things in graphical form. Most of them don't know how to do it, but I want it in graphical form because it shows facts, and they got to have the facts to be able to put it into the graph. They can't just make it up, because then you're going to test that. All right. It's kind of like when someone makes a decision, all right, and they present it to their boss. Well, some bosses just take their word, but some bosses they encourage people to just be better and do better. So they kind of test it out. Okay, let's test this out. Let's see how this works. Let's play with this a little bit. And you keep getting better and better. And goals can be the same. You keep making them better and better and better and expanding them. All right. And in goals too, and I'm talking about goals and data and how things go, is because it's important to understand too that when you put goals together, I always suggest that you have what's called a short-term objective or benchmark. All right. So what that is you have one annual goal. All right. Here, I'll pull up a goal for you that will help, I think. All right. And this will explain a little bit the importance of how these should be written a little bit, because they are so all over the place. It's crazy, guys. I mean, we really got to get these together because I've seen so many like this that it's honestly eye-opening and worrisome for me, because I have a huge passion for this, which is why I'm taking so much on, because I don't want kids to have this disservice, that the school systems are doing this and it even being okay. And again, don't blame yourselves, guys, because it's not your fault. All right. It's not your job, honestly, in the beginning to know how to write a freaking IEP, Now, gain the knowledge now, all right? Don't worry about the past and really focus on, I'm pulling it up for y'all, guys, hang on. And really focus on, getting it together, because I can't tell you how important it is. It's just so, so, so important. And it's important that your kids are put on the right track so that things are done in a proper form. All right, so here's a goal for you. I can't show you this IEP, but I can, because I haven't blocked out. This parent actually said I can use this IEP, but I haven't blocked out the names yet. So in one of the goals that just blew my freaking mind, gosh, all right, let me go over. All right. All right. So here we are. All right. So we have a goal. All right. All right. So let's read this one. Let's just call him Zachary. Zachary will sequence an activity of daily I hate these freaking goals. Will sequence an activity of daily living and explain each step using complete sentences, giving a model with 80% accuracy. All right, that is a benchmark. Now let's go back to the annual. I did that on purpose. Zachary will sequence an activity of daily living and explain each step using complete sentences, given a module, and they even abbreviated the module and model cues with 80% accuracy. Okay. Well, why does he need to sequence an activity from start to finish? Why don't you just say, Zachary will explain from beginning to end an activity in daily living, and instead they say sequence, activity, explain each step. It's like, whoa. So let's just say Zachary will explain step by step in complete sentences an activity in daily living. Do you see how that sounds so much better? Instead of Zachary will sequence an activity of daily living and explain each step-by-step sequence given a MOD instead of model with 80% accuracy. Why? Zachary will step by step, using complete sentences, an activity in daily living, given a model of, in parentheses, e.g., whatever the model is. I want to know what the model is. Don't you want to know what the model is? Tell me what the model is. In parentheses, e.g., what the model is. So then it would say, with 80% accuracy, 9 out of 10 times, or 13 out of 15 times. I never go over 15. My favorite is 9 out of 10 times, but depending on the child's age or what it is, etc. 9 out of 10 times. And then you want to specify when. Within the first semester or by the end of the year, etc. So as measured by data collection, written work, and it can be quizzes if you want or whatever, but there's more than likely not going to be a quiz on this one. So I would say written work and report data collection. So with 80% accuracy, 9 out of 10 times as measured by written work and report data collection by June 2021. Okay, so then the short-term objectives, the first one is the first semester. So Zachary will step-by-step explain an activity in daily living. This is me rewording it for them. An activity in daily living in complete sentences, giving a model of, in parentheses, what that model is, with 80% accuracy, 9 out of 10 times as measured by written work and report data collection by the end of the first semester. Then the next benchmark would be, okay, by the end of December. You see what I'm saying? So you can have 2 benchmarks or 3, it doesn't matter, but you just have to expand them as to when you want them accomplished. Okay, so you have the end of the year, you have one maybe the first semester, and then you have one mid-year, but then it's kind of like leaving out that third semester. So I always like to have 3, but you can have 2 if you want to. All right, so the yearly is broken down into what I say 3, but this one has 2, so I just left the 2. One of them I actually added a 1, but it's a preference, okay? I like 3 because then you have the yearly, then you have 3 other benchmarks, okay? And the reason I like 3 is those other 3 I make sure are the date that my progress report's coming out, or the month. So you get the progress report, say, on the 14th. By the end of that month, my child did this goal and made that goal, and then you know where they're at. So there's a strategy behind what I'm doing. So then you know exactly where your child is, and you didn't wait a whole year to get the data that you need because you asked for written work and report data collection, which a report is a written out report of how that data was taken, how it was measured, and why it looks the way it looks, how it came about. Okay? And I always want a statement in the IEP, and under each goal, it should say how data is measured, and you can even say all goals within the IEP are measured by written work and data collection, report data collection. Okay, you want report data collection, not data collection. You want report data collection. Okay, report data collection is something they can hand you, a report explaining everything word for word, and be detailed. Have bullet points in your IEPs. Okay, what do you want in that report data collection? What do you want to see? As the parent, what is it that would prove to you, okay, they're being honest. Okay, they're doing their job. Okay, my child is doing what he needs to be doing or she needs to be doing to make progress in the educational setting. And if they're not, you're going to know why, because you're going to have that data. All right. Here's the other reason that data is so important. If you ever want to argue anything, if you don't have data, you're shit out of luck. Just shit out of luck. All right. Now, data in things you want to argue is also emails. Okay. So email dialogue back and forth. Stop picking up the phone. Unless your child is in school and they are sick or they're having a behavior issue where they're restrained or something serious, of course, take a phone call. But if the school is calling you to discuss anything regarding the IEP, goals, data, etc., there is no discussion on the phone. None. And if you do have to have a discussion on the phone, get Rev Call Recorder. Okay? It's an app. You get the phone call, okay, or you call them, you press incoming or outgoing, and it clicks on and you're recording the conversation. All right? And you make sure, because you're recording, you need to make sure to say, hi, Miss da-da-da-da. I just, sorry, my phone cut out because, like, when you push it, it, like, cuts out for, like, 5 seconds. So you just want to say, sorry, you know, it just, my phone cut out. What did you say again, Miss da-da-da-da? So what you're doing is you're saying, hey, sorry, my phone cut out, but you're blaming it on that when you're trying to get her name put in verbally on your recording. Okay, because you need that. So you say, sorry, Miss So-and-so, you know, or you can say, you just want to basically say her name and then she start talking again or he start talking again because you have it on that recording. But I stay away from phone calls. It's all email, unless I go in and then I record. Okay, so there's no need for conversation. Y'all aren't friends. Stop, get off phone. Email. It's a business dynamic. So you either physically go or you do email. All right. You're not friends. You're not calling each other on the phone. You're not chit-chatting over coffee. Okay. So stay away from phone calls. All right. I've seen too many school systems do phone calls, stay away from emails, and there's no proof. Nothing. And I talk to parents and I'm like, I'm so sorry. You know, we can try this, and this, but I'm telling you, you know, without the data, and they know, which is why they do phone calls, that there's no data. All right. And data is it in email form. Just like right now, data is you recording your children. If you're not recording your children right now, more than likely you're not going to get compensatory services. If you're recording your children right now on a daily basis, when they're doing work, if they're having a total meltdown, things that are just not how they were, that have gotten worse, okay, or even your child did not change between when they got out of school till present, that is reason for compensatory services. All right. And I will be very honest. Who cares about compensatory services if you guys did so dang good and your child actually improved at home more than they did at school? So that's awesome. And then take that data, put them back in school, show the data that you got your child from here to here in this amount of time because you guys are better than them anyway. And we don't have to be teacher. Even though I'm a teacher, I don't want to teach my kids. I've told you guys that so many times. You can call me out on it all you want, but I hate teaching my own kids. And, you know, I have a 23-year-old who's a teacher, a 19-year-old in the Coast Guard, and then I got Skylar, and now I'm teaching Skylar. And we go through I was telling one of my parents that we're actually really good friends now. I was telling her, I said, you know, we can get back on a call in just a few minutes. Skylar's having her 10-minute daily decompression shit fit. You know, she screams for 10 minutes every day in her room. She knows to go to her room, and she does that to decompress. And that's her sensory overload decompression 10-minute scream fest. And so I was telling her, okay, I'll call you back. But I get that now more and more because I'm teaching her and she's frustrated because I'm pushing her. I'm not joking around. I don't know what the school did because I wasn't there. I know what I saw when I observed, and it wasn't that they weren't doing anything because she actually has made some progress in some things. Reading was the issue this past year, but I'm pushing her butt big time, and she's getting pretty upset about it. So I finally got her a star chart, you know, where you can reward them, and they work so much in the star chart. And then some people call them different types of charts, but basically each thing that they do, they put a little sticker, and then by the end of, say, 8 things, then they get a reward. That reward could be a 5-minute break on their phone, or it could be a 5-minute break to go play with their ball, or whatever it is. But they work so much to get 5-minute break, 10-minute break, work so much, get 5-minute, 10-minute break. See what I'm saying? And they don't get the star or sticker unless they're working. So we don't get this sticker. Let's try again. They have to do it again. Then they get the sticker. When they're done with the 8 stickers or whatever it is, when they're younger, it's like 5, and then it moves up. Then they get the reward. Make sense? All right. So who has questions? I see there's tons of questions, but I have got to get it through to so many people. Share this if you guys want to. Make sure you click notifications so you know when I go live. I have so much to talk about. Why? Because just recently, because of the IEP makers, my crazy self decided to start doing. Normally I just go to IEP meetings, I review the IEPs, now I've taken this crazy big kahuna on, and I've seen so much that I want to help. I truly want to help you guys. And, just going through, and what I've told some of my parents is the cool thing is once we go over it one time, maybe 2 or one time, and then I go to an IEP meeting and support what has been done, usually parents can do it on their own after that. And then if a problem arises, then they call me. So it's kind of cool because it's not like some ongoing thing. I make over their IEP. We have an in-depth conversation. I support the IEP in the IEP meeting. They're able to see how things kind of can transpire. Sometimes they have me at one more IEP meeting, and then they do it on their own because the precedent has been set that they're not going to play. And then if a problem arises, I'll come back into play, and then they go back on their own. So it's worked out really well that way. And it's just important. I don't know about you, but for me, when I visually see someone doing something is when it clicks. If someone just tells me about it verbally, it doesn't click. So I don't know about you guys, but that's how I am. So if you're still interested in IEP makeovers, I am booking for the second-ish, late second week, third week of June below. So like after the 8th is when I'm booking. So if you're interested in an IEP makeover or you have an IEP maybe coming up like possibly soon or August, now's the time to get going on that so that things are put into play. All right. Because what I would hate to see is everybody have these huge meetings that everybody's going to be bombarding the schools come the start of school. And then you're waiting to have your meeting and then Christmas time comes and you've wasted all this time. I just don't want that to happen. All right. So again, post a 1 below if you're new, a 2 below if you're an oldie but goodie. Say hi. I want to get to know you guys. Ask your questions. If I can't answer them all tonight, I promise I'll come back on. Click notifications and share this if you want to. And if you haven't joined the group at Autism Mama Rocks IEP group, all you got to do is put it in the search bar. Join the group. The group's awesome, guys. All right. So Lucy, Jess, hello. I'm sorry I went frozen. I think it was twice for a second. I apologize. I don't know what's going on lately. Hey, Shauna, how are you? Jess says she's understanding. Jolette says our child IEP is important. Yes, it is. Alice says 2. Welcome. Lucy is a 2. Grace is a 2. Elizabeth is a 2. We must be cool. Cheryl says 2. Hey, Cheryl, how are you? And Gillette says, what can you help with? Something about help. We homegirls, you helped me with my oldest IEP last year. I still owe you that help. Aw. Jolette said, it's much more. Skills can help and they must just do. Ophelia says, you're awesome. Thank you. You answered so many questions that I'm dealing with my son in just a couple of minutes. You're welcome. My son is 7th grade and on the 9th grade level. Have a team meeting. Very cool. Sure, you can talk to me. You can set up a discovery call. Just PM me and we'll do a discovery call. Good. I'm so glad there's progress now, Jess. That's awesome. You have to PM me. You'll have to catch up. Jess says, send her a PM. Yes. We'll get with you. a lot to take at first. It's a lot to take in at first. Yeah, it's a lot. Then you must be claim in talking. I don't know. Okay. Parents want daily progress reports. Is this the expectation of court? Well, you don't need daily progress reports. That's kind of not productive. But you can have daily communication sheets. If you want to go to my website, to the Education Vault, and there's daily communication sheets. There's one that I use for my daughter, and then there's one that is like that, but that you can actually physically edit on the computer. Yes, I'll take your questions after the live. Thanks, Jess, for all your help. I thought I could, so remember, you can watch the replay. That's right. Belinda, hello. This is off subject, but I'm looking for a good company for ABA. Where do you live? Loretta, what's the name of the app? Rev Call Recorder. If somebody wants to write that down for me, that would be so awesome. It's REV and then Call Recorder. It's an app. All right. Another amazing app. I was going to post this. I got to talk to the parent first and ask her. But I took a video. There's an app called Otter, OTTER AI. All right. OTTER AI. Now let me show you what it does. It's so freaking awesome. Guys, it records your IEP meetings and transcribes it. Let me show you. Hang on. It is so cool. And I just learned about it. I've been recording all these times and having to pay to get it transcribed. This transcribes it. It's so cool. All right, hang on, I'll show you. Here it is. A really important server. All right, so I'm going to take the volume off, but look at it. Can you see? It's transcribing as I'm here. Can you see it? So it's writing as we're talking. The team's talking. How cool is that? Look, still doing it. Isn't that cool? So literally, you record and it transcribes everything that you're saying. I think in the recording, I think there was only 3 mistakes in like an hour and something IEP meeting. It's awesome. Yeah, Teresa, message me, PM me, and we'll talk. All right? Someone asked the name of the app. Yes, Rev Call Recorder. And then the other one, Rev is for when you are on the phone. And you can do it, literally. You go to the app, you press outgoing, you put in the phone number, and then you press, it's like connect, or it's so easy. It's like 3 steps, all right? You call the person, or if they call you, then you just say, hello, and then you say, hang on 1 second. Then you click the app, click the connection. It connects where you like, kind of like if you're going to 2-way, and then you say, oh, okay, I'm so sorry, miss, da-da-da-da, and then you're repeating her name, and it's on recording. That's it. Seconds. Call Rev. It's Rev Call Recorder for the phone calls, and then the Otter AI. So it's otter.ai, and that's the one that records you, plus it transcribes everything from that meeting. It's awesome. Okay, Tina, 2 but second live. Linda Wheeler, Pincus, thank you. Yeah, Linda's a great help. She's awesome. Hey, Anna. What else says? Put the name of the app. Yeah, Rev, R-E-V, Call Recorder. All right, I want to know about transportation with the IEP. Okay, I just went through this. I don't know if you know, Jess, but I'm getting ready to launch in 2.5 weeks the Service Accommodation and Modification mini course. And it's specific straight up to services, accommodations, modifications, because so many parents, it's either they don't know what's out there. Because, I mean, I think I have over 300 different services, accommodations, modifications that can be put into play that people just don't. Like, you can Google, but they're not all out there. They're not. And it's weird that they're not all put out there like that. Some people just know about kind of the basics and not all the stuff that actually can be put in play. I can't tell you how many times parents are BS'd when it comes to ESY. Oh, we only provide it from 9 to 2. That's it. That's all you get for 6 weeks, 3 weeks, 2 weeks. Bull crap. That is not true. Your kid can literally, from the day school ends the following Monday to the day before school starts, be an ESY. Did you know that? That is crap. Crap. And they say it all the time. We only do it from 9 to 2, 9 to 1 for 3 weeks, 2 weeks, 6 weeks. That's all we got for ESY. That's all we do. That's all we can do. Sorry. That's all we can do. That's all your child qualifies for. Oh, here's another thing. This is what they do. In your IEP, I challenge all of you on here, go and check your IEP. What does it say under ESY? It sure as hell better not say yes, and it sure as hell better not say no. It needs to say NA. So in the beginning of the year, and any of you who have end of the year IEPs, change it. Try to change it. Try to get IEPs for August. All right? Then it takes them through the year. All right? However, I always say have quarterly IEPs for a reason. You get your first benchmark is the first quarter. Your second benchmark should be the second. The third benchmark should be the third. And then you got your annual. You got your progress reports at the same time. You get your IEPs at the same time. You have a discussion at the same time. A win-win. Okay? And this is the way to keep your kids successful, to know about their progress, to be on top of it. As long as you know, every quarter I'm having an IEP. And I always plan each IEP. I pick the date and time at each IEP. All right. So I have my IEP actually coming up next Wednesday. So at that IEP, the next IEP will be scheduled. At that IEP, the next IEP will be scheduled. And we do it every, I think mine are August, December, March, something like that. March, April. August, the end of August, the end of December, and March, April, something like that. And I think it's the end of March or beginning April. So I like doing that because it keeps me, okay, I'm going to take that progress report in. It always has to be after the progress report. I take the progress report in, we go over it, we go over the data, et cetera, and I catch issues as they come. All right, plus I have daily communication sheets and weekly emails from service providers. All right. What else? Okay, so this is what I did to this IEP that I was just on, and what I do all the time is schools by law, because they initiate the IEP typically, it's in their area, okay, at their place, school, whatever. They get to initiate the IEP. So they get to pick where it's at as long as it's agreed upon. I mean, most parents don't agree of it being at the administration office or it being at the school. And then if it's on a Zoom, they have the right to send the Zoom link. So then they can record it as long as it's a one-party state. All right? But they may record it anyway. You never know. And one-party states like my own, I just record. You don't have to say anything. So if the school is doing its school time and all that kind of stuff, they have to do the Zoom. So that sucks, but it really doesn't suck. So all I did is I went to, if you go to QuickTime Player, it walks you through recording your whole screen. So you can do it on a Windows or whatever those computers are called. I don't know. I only know Apple. So I have an Apple, but QuickTime Player is not an Apple product. So go on to QuickTime Player and you press, I'll write it down, but I think you press File and then Record Screen. And then it gives you this like thing where you extend it and just extend it to your whole screen, press Record. Done. So they sent the Zoom. They're all on the Zoom. On the recording that I have, you see everybody's face. You see everybody's picture and their name on the their picture. And the whole thing was recorded. Plus, I did the Otter AI on top of it and got everything transcribed. Done. You just got below grade level. Yeah, a lot of times they'll do that in assessments. Not okay. All right. I got to get ready to get off here, guys. I got an appointment with a client, 2 of them actually, so that we will be in 2 weeks. What's in 2 weeks? Message me, Jess, because what are you talking about? What's in 2 weeks? Did I miss something? Colonial Heights. Where's that at? Belinda. Colonial Heights. Like what state? So I have questions. What is just got below grade level? Where was that? What was that in reference to? And then I got, that is what I want to know as well. So that was Tina. And then Jess said, I want to know about that. And then you said that in 2 weeks. Explain that to me. And then Paula said, I didn't even get below grade level. So tell me what you're speaking of, because I've been trying to follow everybody. So just tell me what you're speaking of so I can respond appropriately. Mine were just statements, but no standardized test. Well, always in testing, that has to be represented. Hey, Grace, how are you? Is there a way to record? Yeah, on your phone. Belinda, Virginia. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm in Virginia too. So Colonial Heights. Where's that? Where's Colonial Heights? Message me and we'll talk. Like, I know Colonial Heights, Maryland. Where's Virginia? Is that northern? I got below grade level in Massachusetts. Oh, what question about testing? How much will new upcoming, oh, it's cheap as heck, $37. And it's six videos, a huge workbook. I walk you through the whole process of, what services, accommodations, and modifications are. A lot of people get confused with exactly what they are and how they're used and what they're used for and why they should be used. And then I go into all the accommodation. I go into the law in regards to them, how accommodations and modifications is actually a huge, huge, huge deal. If not implemented accurately, it's actually a OCR discrimination complaint and is a federal issue. It's a big deal, okay? And I go into who actually is in charge of implementing those services, accommodations, and modifications, and who actually needs to make sure that they're being done, or whom, all right? And, gosh, I don't have it in front of me, but I go into data, and how data needs to be measured, and how things need to be reported to you. I go through all the different you get a whole list in your workbook of all the different accommodations, modifications, and services. I go into detail on explaining what they should be for. You actually have homework of, all these questions I give you, and you becoming the expert as to what does my child really need, and then what you need to do to be able to become that. Because that's what you have to do. And it's not that hard. So I explain the whole process with you, where you're going to probably be like, oh my God, why didn't I think of that? But then you're going to know the process and be able to then implement it yourself. And, then there's like a bonus. So it's good. It's really good. So, and I'm contemplating doing a course specifically on me literally editing 3 separate IEPs like I do an IEP makeover, because there's so many people that are hands-on. They need to see it, they need to do it, but having the visual of me walking them through my thought process of where I'm going with it, why I do what I do, why I'm changing it, why I have a problem with it, why I have a question about it. That's a big thing, is there's so many questions in regards to IEPs that have to be answered and responded to then make a decision as to what you want in it too. So a lot of things, I basically am thinking about doing this, because then you're going to hear me talk out my process. And so it won't be like a course of, okay, let me put on my best dress, no, it'll be nitty gritty. Okay, here's one IEP, preschool age. Here's a elementary school age, and here's like the transitional middle school, high school age. Okay, this is how I edit them. The preschool, they're all pretty much the same of how I edit, but then you'll be able to see the different age levels and kind of goal differences. And I'm thinking about doing that. Let me know if you're interested. I have not started it. It's just a thought process that came in my head this week because I'm like booked like you wouldn't even believe. So in my mind, I'm thinking, maybe I should just create a course and let people buy the course. And then they have it just presented to them, literally 3 different IEPs, and they're able to go back to it at any time they want and see what's going on. And as you can see, I talk, so you're not going to miss anything. You're going to have it all kind of thrown up out there. So you'll know exactly where my mindset is when I'm editing. So yeah. So if that's something you're interested in, let me know. PM me, say, yeah, that'd be something I'm really interested in, you know? So let me know. The services, accommodations, and modifications course will come out like the 3rd week in June. I'll make a big announcement. You'll know. Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, my husband, he's a contractor, so he remodels houses, and he does most of his work in Richmond. What's it called? What's that one that starts with a C? I forgot what it's called. But Richmond and all those areas, Mechanicsville and Chesterfield, that's what it's called. And all those areas. Yeah. So what was your question, Belinda? Let me look. Oh my God, Jenna, if you're on here, okay, you were right. You were right. I'll own it. She said, oh my God, you're going to get off and go live. You're going to be forever. You talk forever. Okay, she was right. I was like, no. I'm just going to be 30 minutes today. It's going to be quick and easy. It's just going to be 30 minutes, and I've already been on here an hour. All right. Tell me what you wrote, Belinda, because there's so many comments. I'm sorry, hon. All right. Too close to the screen. Does it like fuzz when I get too close to the screen? See, I'm in my room because I have all my work here right now instead of in my office. Daily communication seeds, did you make up? They're the ones that I have for my daughter. So it goes through everything. Everything, including behavior. Oh, what testing can you request an IEP? I need course. Well, my big course, I walk you through the whole process from beginning to end. You get everything. All right. And that's where I give my parents literally everything you request and how you request it for your records. And the bullshit that they'll tell you in regards to FERPA that they're totally wrong about. And I give you what you need to request in, as far as assessments, because that is important. What types of, when you say, oh, I want a full individual evaluation. Okay, well, what's that? You know, a lot of people think, oh, I need a psychological, maybe speech, OT, PT. Okay, that's it? Or do you want the whole enchilada and really see the whole picture? Or why have a psychological when you can have a psychoeducational, which is better? That's the psychological piece with the educational piece attached to it, which we're talking about education. So why would you have a psychological when you could have the psychoeducational? The school says psychological because they're a hell of a lot cheaper. I say the psychoeducational because I want to know the main facts. And so you have to know what to ask for. You can't just say OT, PT, speech, I need an evaluation of my child. Then they're going to pick and choose whatever they want. And unfortunately, a lot of schools will pick and choose what they feel is not going to be the most intense and provide the more conclusive results that you would understand and be able to use. Happens all the time. It's a strategy they do. Along with how they, a lot of school systems lately are telling, it'll be another call that I do. It'll be another call that I do. What school systems and districts and principals are telling teachers to do that teachers have actually quit over this because it's become such a huge problem where it's about they're telling them to do this so that their standardized testing scores for their county and their district are higher, but yet the accuracy of the assessments being done are not accurate. I'll go into that in a different Zoom or live. All right. Hey, Cheryl. Hey, Tina. Okay, I'm seeing you guys again. Chester. Okay, yeah, I was just talking about Chesterfield. ABA. Okay, so let me look that up. But there's a lot of ABA places in Richmond, I believe. It's finding the good people, but we can talk. Message me. All right. Good. You got a psychoeducational. Yeah, definitely. So message me and I'll let you. All right. So we're good. We're good, guys. All right. Don't forget, if you're catching the replay, post a 1 below, post a 2 below if you're an oldie but goodie. Make sure you guys say hi. I want to get to know you. And if anybody wants to do a watch party over on the group, my groupies, all right, we got Shauna, we got Lucy, we got a lot of you guys. So anyway, if you want to do a watch party over on the group, go for it. I know a lot of you have asked permission. Just do it. That's fine. I have no problems with that. I have no problems with you sharing anything that I post. And click notifications so you know when I go live again. If you haven't joined the group, please do. It's Autism Mama Rocks IEP group. You just put it into the search bar. And I will talk to you guys soon. Hopefully I didn't go crazy on you, but I'm just seeing such a huge problem these days and I want to help. So I don't want all these mistakes to just continue. I want us to get together as a group and really get gung-ho about this so that our IEPs are straight and we shock the heck out of the school system of, oh my gosh, you actually have to do what's needed and appropriate. And when I talk about this, this is all based off law. It's all based off what's called a standardized IEP. Traditional IEPs used to be in play forever ago, and now they are gone, okay? They are gone. They are bye-bye, okay? Back in 2004, they went bye-bye, and they were even updated in 2006 when IDEA was updated, and they're called standardized IEPs. Back in the day, and you know, when IDEA was first established in 97, it was more traditional. They were kind of half-assed, I guess you could say. But now they are called standardized, and every progress report, it states, has to be specific. It cannot be just da 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 da, here's your goal, da 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 da, here's my comment, have a nice day. No, that's not data. That's not, it literally says that it should provide sufficient amount of information to where the team can then go meet and address goals accordingly because it's visualized as to where the child is struggling or not. That's how specific it has to be. And so this should not be a surprise to many school systems. And like I was saying in the beginning, the crazy part is this one director of special ed was trying to say I couldn't talk to him. Now, once I literally quoted law, I copied and pasted law. I was like, you know what? I'm not even going to write it up. I'm going to copy and paste it direct from IDEA and give it to him. And normally I am not fond of quoting law to the district because it's kind of tedious and it pisses him off. But because he came out like, oh, we don't do that. Sorry, we're not allowed to do that. We can only work with attorneys. Well, you know, in the last several cases, as of recent, it was advocates that won the due process cases and not attorneys. So you should, because a lot of advocates know more than attorneys, and attorneys have said that. So whether it's an advocate or an attorney, dependent on the parent's preference, it shouldn't matter who you talk to as long as they sign a consent form. So I said that, and then I posted all the documents that I had said, and all of a sudden, he has a consent form. All of a sudden, he's talking to me. It's crazy. But they'll try to feed it to you because a lot of people will say, oh, okay, no problem. All right, not a problem. And you don't want to do that. All right, you always want to step up and ask questions and ask questions and ask questions, you know, and expect responses. And if you haven't seen my IEP tip today, go read it. It's so important. Post under it if you have questions because it's a really, really good tip. It's something that I just recently have encountered again, but encountered and it was quite the experience. And it's unfortunate that school systems are doing that. All right. So you guys have a wonderful evening. I will talk to you guys soon. I will be going live later on this week, most definitely on Thursday. So I will see you soon. Make sure you say hello, especially if you're watching the replay. Take care, guys. All right. And if you post questions after this, I promise to answer them. Bye-bye.